Today we will discuss Chapter 3, The Mathematics of Finance, Section 3.1, Simple Interest. Introduction. A knowledge of the mathematics of investment and loan is very important to all of us. In this chapter, we will study two forms of investments: investment that pays simple interest and investment in which interest is compounded. First, let's talk about simple interest. When you first deposit money in a saving account, your deposit is called the principal or the present value. The bank takes the money and invests it. In return, the banks pay you interest. Simple interest is interest paid only on the principal. Simple interest is the simple interest on an investment or loan, and this is given mathematically as PV times R times T. Or in other words, in order to calculate simple interest, I multiply my present value or my principal with the rate, the interest rate, and then times time. Times is usually in years. Quick example: the simple interest over a period of 4 years on a 5,000 investment that earns 8% per year. What is the simple interest after 4 years? Well, as we said earlier, to calculate the simple interest, I have to multiply my present value or my principal times the rate times the number of years. Therefore, the interest would be 5,000 times 0.08 times 4, and that gives you 1,600. How about if I want to find my future value, or how much money am I going to get in the bank? At that point, I need to know my interest plus the amount that I put in the bank after a certain amount of years. So the future value is usually equals to the principal times a factor 1 plus RT, and that gives you the future value. So a future value of an investment, say you have say the value at the end of 4 years of a 5,000 investment that earned 8% simple interest per year, would be equal to the present value, which is 5,000 times a factor 1 plus 0.08 times 4, and that gives you 6,600. So it's basically the interest which was 1,600 plus the present value, which is 5,000. If you add those up, that gives you the future value. Now we will do 3 consecutive problems. We will solve them using the concept of the simple interest. Example 1. In November 2011, the Bank of Montreal was paying 1.3 interest on saving accounts. If the interest is paid as a simple interest, find the future value of a 2,000 deposit in 6 years. What is the total interest paid over the period? So here I want to find the future value. What is the future value of an investment of 2,000? So the investment of 2,000, future value would be equal to the present value times a factor 1 plus 0.13 times 6, and if we use a calculator, we find this equals to 2156. Now how do I calculate the interest? Interest is present value times rate times t, and that would be 2000 times 0.013 times 6, and that gives you 156. Example number 2. This is similar to example number 1, but here we are calculating only the interest. Okay, the Megabucks Corporation is issuing 10-year bonds paying an annual rate of 6.5%. If you buy 10,000 worth of bonds, how much interest will you earn every 6 months, and how much interest will you earn over the life of the bond? So the interest after 6 months would be equal to 10,000 times 0.065 times half. That give you 325. How about the interest after 10 years? The interest is going to be 10,000 times 0.065 times 10, and that give you 6,500. Example 3. A U.S. Treasury bill paying 10,000 after 6 months earns 3.67 simple annual interest. How much did it cost to buy? So here I have the future value. So the future value after 6 months is about 10,000. So how much money do I have presently that will earn me 10,000 after 6 months? So these I have to solve for present value in my interest equation. So my present value would be equal to future value divided by 1 plus RT, and substituting for future value equal to 10,000 divided by 1 plus 0.367 times 0.5, that will give me 9,819 and 81 cents. Compound interest, section 3.2. The addition of interest to the principal sum of a loan or deposit is called compounding. Compound interest is interest on interest. It is the result of reinvesting interest rather than paying it back to the lender. Compound interest formula: if I want to find the future value of my investment, future value is going to be equal to present value times 1 plus R over M raised to power MT. Quick example. Find the future value after 5 years of a 10,000 investment earning 6% interest with reinvestment every month. We set present value equal to 10,000, R equal to 0.06, M equal to 12, and T equal to 5. Future value is equal to 10,000, 1 plus 0.06 divided by 12 raised to power of 60, and that will give you 13,488.5. Again, we are continuing in compound interest, so we will study few examples. We will start with example 1. So in November 2011, the Bank of Montreal was paying 1.3% interest on saving accounts. If the interest is compounded quarterly, find future value of 20,000 deposit in 6 years. What is the total interest paid over the period? So here, since they are asking me for the total interest, I will first find the future value. And once I know the future value, then I will find the interest by subtracting off present value from the future value. How do I find future value? I find future value uh, by using the formula phi v equal to pv 1 plus r over m raised to power mt. So when we do the substitution, we find the future value equal to 2161. Okay, and the interest here is going to be equal to 2161.97 minus 2000, and that gave me the interest, which is equal to 161.97. In some instances, you will be given the future value and they will ask you to find the present value or the principal. So the present value is going to be equal to future value divided by 1 plus r over m raised to power mt. Quick example. Find the amount we need to invest in an investment earning 12% per year compounded annually, so that we will have 1 million in 20 years. So here we want to find the present value. So we use the formula we saw in the previous slide. So present value would be equal to 1 million divided by 1 plus 0.12 raised to the power of 20. So we get 103,666.77.